And welcome back, esports fans. Once again, we are right in the thick of things here for the PCS in the final day of the regular split for 2021 summer. I am still Pyrotechnics. He is still Clement. And before we get ready to kick things off, I think I'm waiting for them to come right up here, but I do believe our wonderful sponsors deserve a shout out. Clement, you were frozen there for just a second, my friend. I was wondering if everything was okay.
Yeah, I was surprised myself because seeing myself like that was definitely a bit of a surprise.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're back, and I'm also glad that we have four wonderful sponsors to shout out, of course, for the PCS. CTBC Bank, China Airlines, Chunghwa Telecom, and Caliber. Thank you for making the PCS possible. Now, this next matchup has huge implications for the playoffs, as it is Alpha Esports trying to play spoiler against LYB. LYB have a chance to force a tiebreaker here with a win and a loss by impunity later today. But we have to remember, lest we forget, Alpha Esports' only win came at the hands of LYB.
That's absolutely true. So this is really the match of the century. You know, we used to call this the battle for the wooden spoon because both splits, the teams, fought against each other to find that first elusive W. And now it just seems like fate has brought them once again together. Alpha Esports, they don't have any chance of making playoffs whatsoever. They are already mathematically eliminated. But LYB could finally be getting into playoffs. It's been a very long time. We didn't see it basically ever. But, you know, I feel like with their changes and with Kanji finally back into the lineup, this is a great chance for them to at least get that tiebreaker date with impunity later on.
Yeah, LYB have definitely showcasing a much more strong team of late. It's been good to see them leveling up and evolving and no longer contesting for a wooden spoon. Now they're going for the golden spatula. See if they can make their way into the postseason, and that would be a big statement for the Philippine squad. And, you know, this team has, I feel like their record doesn't really indicate the level that they have played at lately. But we'll talk about them a little bit later because we do want to talk about Alpha. They are eliminated, but they are here to play spoiler. 3Z, K-Babe, Xiaotu, On, and Sheng trying to upset, well, the team that they perennially are fighting with down at the bottom of the table, but might just end up upseeding.
Yeah, Alpha Esports, this really is a story about a dream not coming together. You know, they were bringing in so many interesting trends at the start of the year. It was old veterans coming back into the team. It was the LDL players trying to get a different shot at Worlds through a different region, but it just didn't come together. The connection issues that they had, and you know, the players just kind of tapering off in their individual abilities. We never got the promise of the Alpha that we got it. On the other hand, LYB, I think this is also a very interesting team because we honestly didn't think that they would be able to punch above their weight, this far above their weight. If you look at their stat lines, they've actually improved by over 2,000 gold in their early game. And that's just insane from spring to summer to have that big of a difference. A big part of it did come from Kanji. We did see Spelts come back into the lineup for some reason. It didn't really work out, and now they are bringing Kanji to round it out and take them back home. I think he is, in my opinion, a lot stronger of a player. It just comes down to sometimes the communication really isn't there, but LYB, for me, if they can withstand the early mid-game pressure, they should be able to take this one down. Meantime, we will be taking a look at the top lane here.
This is an interesting matchup for sure, as Kanji, you know, the off roll finally solidifies for him, and even though he was swapped out for Spelts for a little bit, it seems like he's just had the up and up. 3Z hasn't really been able to keep up with him in terms of really staying on the board, but he puts out more damage for his team. He's definitely relied upon a bit more, and you see that coming out in some of the champion choices. His Renekton for early games, he's played a handful of Gangplank games as well. That's certainly shown him to really be putting a lot of extra damage from global positioning, the Cannon Barrage coming in well. Whereas Kanji, a little bit more, I want to say conventional, but I got to use the air quotes because he will play some of those crazy matchups. He likes to go into like that Fiora, Camille 1v1. We'll see if it works out for him, if that ends up being the play. But we are into picks and bans. We'll start off with the Thresh and the Olaf ban. This is actually kind of a double jungler ban because K-Babe and Dodoy have both been the big Olaf stands this split.
Yeah, it is a double-edged swords coming in, and to be honest, I feel like Alpha Esports should be banning out the Diana as well. That has been LYB's winningest combo. They have 2 wins so far out of the 3 on the Diana.
There it is.
And Yasuo, so no surprises there. That's a very difficult team composition to fight off. I do like the bans here. And of course, Xiaotu is going to get banned out as well. So we don't really have the Lulu Olaf, we don't really have the LeBlanc, and that pretty much just leaves the Rise that we have seen coming out from Xiao Tu. Viego, on the other hand, a very strong champion for K-Babe. I actually like his Viego performances so far when he is on point. He really can't stonewall away the team composition. And the big question is, what is LYB going to play? Because outside of Diana, really hasn't had a lot of success.
Yeah, that is the question, right? If they're going to try and pull something out, the linchpin really has been Dodoi for this team. We have talked about Kanji really leveling up and improving as a player. They will manage to secure a Ziggs for Dawn, and I think the Volibear definitely kind of falls down the chain of the most played, with the exception of Lee Sin. But Dodoi going to be looking to really just become kind of an unstoppable juggernaut if he can. For the Alpha side, they've already got a very big snowballing jungler in the form of Viego if they can get some kills. Going to round it out with some even more Shadow Isles. The Callista comes in for On. The hands of the veteran, that can be a dangerous carry. And love to see this paired up with something like a Nautilus that they can just Pokeball out there. Or maybe something even tankier. No, it's going to be Leona, though.
Alpha really going for a strong pick composition, early low to the ground tempo. While LYB, I don't really know what they're going to transition into. I feel like in terms of comfort, Alpha Esports has actually won out on this draft, and they've taken away everything that has been successful for LYB. LYB, to me, they are a team that likes to play full-on brawling type of team compositions. I really think they're very similar to a team like JD Gaming, where they just all run at you at the same time and try to just duke you out with raw stats. And that has been sort of their strategy with either the Lulu Xin Zhao or with the Diana Yasuo combos. So the mid jungle for them is going to be very important. They definitely need something that can straight up engage for Xyliath. I don't think Xyliath has been terrific at champions that stand behind. I think he's much better on things like Galio that just kind of run into the enemy team. So we'll see if he gets that going.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder how much damage they're really going to have if that's what they opt for, though. But we'll have to see as the Sylas is banned away from Xiao Tu. Actually, not a champion that he's really taken this split, but it's going to be followed up by that Camille ban. Obviously, Kanji, trying to get him a counter pick is going to be a LYB strategy. Really get 3Z on the back foot in this one.
And the interesting thing between these two top laners is neither plays that much Gwen, which I think Kanji definitely has in his pocket. You have seen him as mainly a Gwen counter picker, but in this situation, I'm not sure what we're gonna see in the top side from 3Z. I feel like if he has to blind pick, he's probably just gonna go for the Jace. That has actually worked out quite well for him. I'll see this time if he goes for it. Usually they save the counter pick for Kanji in most situations and just go for Xyliath's champion here. Galio is a little bit hard without the Camille to play in this meta, so not really sure what he goes for. Not a lot of options.
Syndra could come in. I was about to say right before he hovered it. That has been a champion picking up a lot of steam on this patch, and he has piloted it already once. We'll get a second shot at doing so, and that adds a double magic threat to this team, but so far, you have to think they might be going for a little bit of AD. Maybe the Jace comes in to answer if this Gangplank is what 3Z picks. Oh, but the Gwen. Ooh, playing with our heart right there.
Yeah, we've been talking about the Gwen a long time. I don't think LYB has the opportunity to pick the Gwen anymore. Way too much magic damage on their composition. But Alpha, wow, they still play incredibly safe here. As I was saying, the most likely blind pick is going to be the Jace. They are playing like a full tempo comp, and
this is totally a BM hover.
Let's go.
That game that Dodoi unfortunately could not get going on that Fiddlesticks. Oh, Alpha just hitting him with it.
Oh, this is an old-time counter pick.
Actually gonna be the Echo into the Syndra. Oh, I didn't expect that one. I like this.
Yeah, we haven't seen the Echo in a very, very long time. You know, after he was a little bit too prevalent in the matchup. Did get a couple of nerfs, and we just didn't see him coming out anymore. So I actually think Spring Split, we still had a couple Echo picks across the board with the Rocket Belt, but after the big nerfs to Rocket Belt and the strength of Everfrost, the champion has just been lying low. But it is a great counter pick.
There we go.
And Kanji also has a counter pick for himself. Oh, he's going to do a Xiaohu impression right here, going for the Lucian versus Jace matchup. That is very favorable to the Lucian. Once you hit level 6, you outrange Jace with the culling, and you can just chase him down.
Adds a lot of AD, much needed, into this composition for LYB. So a little bit of a couple of surprises really coming in right at the end there, and nicely done by both teams. Really looking at how it all went down. It looks like we are going to drop back to us as we get ready to kick things off. And yeah, Alpha is definitely playing this one out very seriously, even if it is just pride to play for, or perhaps they want to see Impunity in the playoffs. They can be kingmakers here if they can pull off this win.
Impunity is basically going, please check your PayPal on this one to see if they can influence Alpha Esports. But I love their composition. You have double assassins coming out from Xiao2 and K-Babe, which are their two best players on their composition right now. And then you have a bunch of tempo pieces. So it's a very snowball composition. If they get the first kill, you expect the Echo to be able to carry them past to the finish point. On the other side, unfortunately, I don't think I can say the same for the composition out of LYB. To me, this LYB comp is, it has range. It's a pretty good siege comp, but I don't think it fares very well in team fights. There are a lot of low mobility champions like the Ziggs and the Syndra that just don't deal very well with the parallel convergence coming out from Echo. And the same thing can be said against someone like the Viego, where you can just flash in and get the Spectral Maul quite easily. So I feel like this is
squishy too.
Yeah, I don't
that's
like
the flip
this
side. I think it's interesting that they put a lot of like their big tankiness onto somebody like Dodoy, who usually is going in to be a little bit more of like a bruiser carry. We've seen him on Diana, we've seen him on Olaf. He really goes into the backline and sticks to people. Yes, he can do that as Volibear, but he's not going to be able to set up as much damage. So they're relying a lot, I think, on some of the weaker members of this LYB squad. So I think Alpha definitely drafted them into a little bit of a corner here. I'm curious to see if they can overcome, because remember, this is the last chance for LYB to try and force the issue on playoffs. It's still out of their control. If they win this, they will still need Impunity to lose later today against, I believe it is J-Team. But, this is it. They need to be able to win this one, stack 4 wins together to try and keep that playoff dream alive. And I think this team has been playing better than the record suggests, but Alpha had a pretty strong draft to deal with them. And oh man, I can't wait for us to get started. I think we're taking a minute before we get set up in there. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think this is the most finesse that we're going to have to see from LYB if they want to pull out the win right here. Usually when they draft compositions, they're all about bruisers. They're all about going in at the same time. But this comp for them, I think, requires a very different approach. You have to be willing to wait a while, make sure you set up your formations correctly so you can counter-engage when Echo comes in. You have to keep your spacing very well together. If parallel convergence lands on 2 players in the backline, you're instantly dead. There's no team fight to be fought whatsoever. So yeah, it's a huge test for them on spacing, on coordination, on patience, in making sure that they don't rush into chokes and corridors where Echo has an easy time just cornering multiple members. And also, if you look at the late game, they don't have a split push answer. If Xiao2 gets ahead, he's going to stay ahead the entire time. So I think it's a very difficult comp to pilot for them. The way I see LYB winning this one is if they can just constantly punish top lane on 3Z and just make that matchup absolute hell. Always play around Kanji and just stick to that one track to snowball the game to a clean finish. Or else it could get really out of hand. There's a lot of champions that are great on just sniping down first kills on the side of Alpha Esports and just snowballing the team fight from there. So you have to play very, very careful against Echo and Viego.
Yeah, that's always going to be a little bit difficult for them to do in this, and even just against one of those big assassins. I think the difference, of course, adding in the Echo, it's kind of an unexpected pickup, and so many squishy champions, as we mentioned, on the side of LYB is going to be a little bit tough for them to try and stay alive. I think I am hearing from production we are taking a little bit of time before we get into the game, as one of the players should be having a bit of time to get into it. I think we can really go back to, excuse me, I am hearing we are going to be taking a break. So thank you for bearing with us, everybody. We will be back at the start of the game right after this. Unfortunately, a lot of attention being focused bottom. Speaking of, K-Babe is actually here. And they found Koala. There's the stun off. Do they have enough to go for the dive, though? Megan Fernabomb and even the teleport coming through. Looking for the Stormbringer. K-Babe on top of Atlan, looking for it. Cannot find the kill as the Stunlock comes in. And now Gemini into the backline he goes. Followed up by Likai. Vanguard's edge, and Likai just opens up as they shred through Alpha Esports. Only 3Z remaining. The triple kill coming in for the Aurelia. Likai wants to make it a quadra, and he can't quite do it. It's stolen away by Scumbag. I think they'll be able to do it at this point. J-Team just got into a rhythm. Very comfortable one for themselves. Last ditch effort by Arachi going in. Look at the kickback on Rest, just deleting the backline. This
It's 1 for 1.
is an absolute monster. Ozzy comes in on the teleport backline, but he's got no team left.
They don't have the damage at this point. Machi are dealing far more. And Eminem walking
Oh
into
no!
Gemini.
Oh no! That was a terrible blast cone.
Very questionable on that one. G-Mian's also holding Hong Kong attitude to this tower here. I don't think they can make the retreat. Here comes the kills.
Oh, big one. This time it is going to be enough as Gemini goes golden before the tower can target him. Shelly even hops before the fight even happens. Collier can't even clean up Gemini, and it is all Machi.
Impunity get their way. I think they're going to run away with this game, and frankly, I do favor their draft just a little bit. On Boom Esports side, we have a bit of shenanigans coming in. The Ruby mid lane Ezreal has only been played once before.
Okay, he's got a shift and a flash, and
that was epic!
Not enough to escape as Epic gets the first blood. You know?
I'm down.
Yeah, let's do it. If this whole casting thing doesn't work out, we'll just start a financial institution, all right? All right, fight is on for B. Boom Esports looking for more, and the pull-in from Alex is huge. That's the fight they're looking for. Wako opens out.
Watch Leon, though.
Leon gaming around the backline. In comes Leon, but the damage follow-up is not there
Wako's still
anymore.
alive, though.
As
Wako's
the
still
double kill
alive.
comes in through Wako, and Mawa trying. Oh, I don't believe it. Can he go for it? The quadra. All he needs is one more party going over to get himself the pentakill.
From zero to hero, Akshan swings into action from the lawless streets of Shurima. Trained by his Sentinel mentor, he's an assassin that rails down opponents from a distance with flashy precision.
Once they see me, it is too late for forgiveness.
It's not all fun and games roaming across Summoner's Rift. This suave rule breaker is on a mission for vengeance.
You know you had that coming, right?
So scoundrels beware. Welcome to the Akshan Champion Spotlight. Akshan's passive is Dirty Fighting. Every third hit from his auto attacks or abilities deals additional damage. When fighting against enemy champions, Akshan also gains a shield for a few seconds. After an auto attack, Akshan will fire an additional shot. He can also cancel that shot to gain movement speed instead.
Coming through!
Akshan's Q throws out his Avengerang, damaging and revealing enemies from their hiding spots. If it collides with enemy champions, he gains movement speed for a brief duration. Each time an enemy is hit, the Avengerang's range is extended farther. How does it come back again? Akshan's W is Going Rogue. His passive marks scoundrels, enemy champions who have killed Akshan's allies. If he takes down a scoundrel, he gains gold and resurrects the fallen allies. Activating Going Rogue lets Akshan camouflage himself briefly when there are no enemies around. When moving near a wall or in brush, he can hide indefinitely. While camouflaged, he gains increased mana regen and movement speed toward scoundrels.
Knock knock! Vengeance calling!
And this is the part where they run away. Get around the rift in style with Heroic Swing. Akshan fires a grappling hook that attaches to the first wall hit and swings around it. To get the most distance out of your E, grapple from max range. Akshan then dives off the rope and fires a final, powerful attack. If he collides with an enemy champion or terrain before landing, he attacks automatically instead. Enemy takedowns refresh Heroic Swing's cooldown, granting him opportunities for Reset City. While he's able to sweep around, Ukshan cannot swing or dive over walls, so try not to crash.
Oh, come now!
Ukshan's ultimate is Comeuppance. Locking onto an enemy champion, Ukshan charges his gun the Absolver and stores up bullets for a massive attack. Recast to unleash a barrage of bullets onto the first target, with damage scaling based on missing health.
That was quite satisfying.
Not one to be locked down, Ukshan can move around and Heroic Swing while charging Comeuppance.
Oh, so exciting!
But watch where you aim. Bullets can be blocked by minions and towers. A troublemaker by trade, Ukshan shines early with his ability to efficiently roam and stir up the map. Try to catch the enemy team off guard before they even have a chance to react. Ouch, talk about a mid-diff. Going rogue combines the strongest parts of your assassination talents. If an enemy thinks they can get away with the kill, capitalize on the scoundrel mechanic and pick them off after the fight. It's way easier for you to pick off foes than engage in 1v1s, so stick close to your allies for clutch revival plays. His name is Ukshan. You killed his allies. Prepare to die.
Consider yourself absolved.
Ukshan prefers picking off foes from a distance, so you'd be wise to evade champions that get up close and personal. Even a well-timed grappling hook might not be enough to escape. Your team may not always make the best choices, but luckily Ukshan thrives when he can swing in and avenge his fallen allies. If a team fight goes sideways, keep your eye on the enemy-marked scoundrel with the highest kill count. Find an opening and grapple in for the takedown.
There we go. Get in, avenge fallen ally, get out.
With the scoundrel defeated and your team revived, secure a victory on the enemy nexus.
Haha, the thrill of going where you're not supposed to.
Vengeance never looked so good. Discover more about the Rogue Sentinel in the links below.
Death descends. The light is fading. Who will join us? Who will be our hope?
No. Worse.
You cannot stop the darkness he's unleashed. Until our queen is returned, all will be brought to ruin.
What is this? What's happening?
Steady.
Then shoot her twice.
We pin her down and hit her with everything we got.
On it.
Wait!
Lucian! No. She's still in there.
She's a monster.
No, Viego's the real monster.
And there aren't enough arrows in the world to stop him.
We need to work together, or he will destroy everything.
What is this place?
This is where you make a choice. Stand with us in the light, or fall alone to the darkness.
She's reckless, Senna.
And we'll need more just like her to stop what's coming.
Are you two just going to stand there? Or are we going to find something to kill?
You still there, friend? So, in Ionia, the Sentinels met a spiritual leader who was struggling against the curse of ruination. She told a story of love and sacrifice and blah 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 blah. All lies. But she did reveal one truth. Isolde's spirit lived inside Senna and Gwen. But then the forest itself turned to ruin and seized another artifact for Viego. The team survived with a little help from a deadly blade dancer. and she joined the cause, hoping to restore her land. Together, they reached Mount Targon. Very tall, perfect for grappling hooks. A warrior with a crescent blade and shimmering armor guided the team to the summit. There, they found Viego battling a god. How do you defeat one of those? Well, if you're a scoundrel, you take control of their mind. Haha, but the Sentinels had enlisted a god of their own, so to speak, and served up just desserts. Of course, sneaky Viego escaped with another item. He is very good at that. Huh, now where will he turn up next?
A lot of attention being focused bottom. Speaking of, K-Babe is actually here. And they found Koala. There's the stun off. Do they have enough to go for the dive, though? Mega Inferno Bomb and even the teleport coming through. Looking for the Stormbringer. K-Babe on top of Atlan, looking for it. Cannot find the kill as the stun lock comes in. And now Gemini into the backline he goes. Followed up by Lee Kai. Vanguard's edge, and Lee Kai just opens up as they shred through Alpha Esports. Only 3Z remaining. The triple kill coming in for the Aurelia. Lee Kai wants to make it a quadra, and he can't quite can't do it. It's stolen away by Scumbag. I think they'll be able to do it at this point. J-Team just got into a rhythm. Very comfortable one for themselves. Last-ditch effort by Arachi going in. Look at the kickback on Rest, just deleting the backline. This
it's 1 for 1.
Is an absolute monster. Ozzy comes in on the teleport backline, but he's got no team left.
They don't have the damage at this point. Machi are dealing far more. And Eminem walking into
no.
Gemini.
Oh no! That was a terrible blast cone.
Very questionable on that one. G-Mian's also holding Hong Kong attitude to this tower here. I don't think they can make the retreat. Here comes the kills.
Oh, big one. This time it is going to be enough as Gemini goes golden before the tower can target him. Shelly even hops before the fight even happens. Collier can't even clean up Gemini, and it is all much.
Impunity get their way. I think they're going to run away with this game, and frankly, I do favor their draft just a little bit. On Boom Esports side, we have a bit of shenanigans coming in. The Ruby mid lane Ezreal has only been played once before.
Okay, he's got a shift and a flash, and
that was epic!
Not enough to escape as Epic gets the first blood. You know?
I'm down.
Yeah, let's do it. If this whole casting thing doesn't work out, we'll just start a financial institution, all right? All right, fight is on for the Boom Esports, looking for more, and the pull-in from Alex is huge. That's the fight they're looking for. Wako opens out.
Watch Leon, though.
Beyond Gaming around the backline. In comes Leon, but the damage follow-up is not there
Wako's so
anymore.
alive, though.
As
Wako's
the
so
double kill
alive.
comes in for Wako, and Mawa is trying. Oh, I don't believe it. Can he go for it? The Quadra. All he needs is one more party bubble going over to get himself the pentakill.
From zero to hero, Akshan swings into action from the lawless streets of Shurima. Trained by his Sentinel mentor, he's an assassin that rails down opponents from a distance with flashy precision.
Once they see me, it is too late for forgiveness.
It's not all fun and games roaming across Summoner's Rift. This suave rule breaker is on a mission for vengeance.
You know you had that coming, right?
So scoundrels beware. Welcome to the Akshan Champion Spotlight. Akshan's passive is Dirty Fighting. Every third hit from his auto attacks or abilities deals additional damage. When fighting against enemy champions, Akshan also gains a shield for a few seconds. After an auto attack, Akshan will fire an additional shot. He can also cancel that shot to gain movement speed instead.
Coming through!
Akshan's Q throws out his Avengerang, damaging and revealing enemies from their hiding spots. If it collides with enemy champions, he gains movement speed for a brief duration. Each time an enemy is hit, the Avengerang's range is extended farther. How does it come back again? Akshan's W is Going Rogue. His passive marks Scoundrel.
How are we going to learn what Action's ultimate ability does? Never mind, I guess we're going to be getting back into game. Hey, everybody, thank you for waiting with us as we have waited out a bit of a pause, a bit of a technical hitch here. But we will finally be coming back to the thrilling conclusion to see if Alpha Esports can upset LYB, or if LYB will come back into this one. As a bit of a reminder, here's the draft. Here's how it went down. A really interesting Echo pick to try and deal with the Syndra, a bit of a throwback coming into this one. And you know, Clement, I know there's been a little like, oh, Alpha Esports, that draft looks a little spicy. It's going to be hard for LYB to deal with.
Yeah, I think this draft has a lot of single target potential to just snipe down one target, and they have multiple resets on their team from Viego, from Callista, and you're looking at Syndra and Ziggs without a lot of escape. So in my mind, Alpha Esports have drafted them a very good answer to what LYB has, but you have to remember, LYB have more to play for. Alpha out of playoffs, LYB have to stay alive. They want to stay alive. And I feel like Kanji in this top lane could make 3Z's life hell. I'm expecting that LYB are going to consistently just attack 3Z over and over again and see if they can run away with that lead.
All right, well, we are on to Summoner's Rift to see if LYB can keep the dream going. They'll have to survive the double assassin composition. It has been a while. since we have seen an Echo. But there are a lot of threats on this champion, not the least of which is that parallel convergence. Going to be hard for the side of LYB to dodge out, but in the laning phase, certainly want to keep an eye up topside, see if Kanji can work his magic on this Lucian. The last time we saw him on this champion, he did find himself a win.
Yeah, for sure. And, just talking about some of the lane matchups here, I do actually favor LYB in the early game for mid-jungle. I think Syndra against Echo, sure, it doesn't work that well in side lanes, it doesn't work that well late game, but just in terms of the early laning phases, she's still perfectly fine. I think the buffs were enough to keep her relevant here. So, I think LYB could still impact the map quite heavily in the early game. But it really just comes down to those skirmishes where I'm very uncertain about. I feel like the skirmish factor does favor Alpha Esports quite a bit. And we have a cheesy setup coming in, which looks like a late invade.
Ooh. Well, we have seen Alpha go for some good Gouda before. And I don't think Dodoy was expecting this one. He's going to have to give up the blue buff. And that should set the big bear behind.
Yeah, this is a great answer to wrestling away the early mid-jungle strength coming out here. As
Shung is chasing him out of the jungle.
Forces the smite as well, so that's a very nice win. And you could tell that Dodoy not getting level 2 on those Merc Wolves, that is so painful for him.
Yeah, I think Alpha correctly identified that Dodoy is certainly a linchpin in this team, even in compositions where he's not going to be the big carry. Time Winder comes out, a little bit of damage dealt onto Xyleath as well. Just, man, the one thing I do remember about Echo is he just has some pretty ridiculous sticking power.
For sure, definitely can just impact side lanes really well, and I always have liked Echo in the past. I feel like there's so many different ways that you could play around this champion. He just has immense scaling in the late game, and every time around Worlds, we always hear about Echo and Scrims just destroying everyone, and it kind of doesn't happen. He's like a great champion when the game is very chaotic. If he picks up kills, then he scales incredibly well with AP, with just levels and everything. So I do feel like against LYB, which, to be honest, is a bit of a messy team themselves, this pick is great from Xiaotu. We do have to see how Xiaotu does in the early to mid game, though. What we have been seeing from Xiaotu recently is that his early game has just been very suspect. We talk about that.
Oh, it's so close.
6 HP. What?
Oh, man. He has no pots left either. Man, that was close.
Ooh, yeah. His instinct for self-preservation is very, very low.
Yeah, that is a bit of a problem. I mean, yeah, you can't fault the guy for bravery, but, there's a reason he dies a lot. And I think we just saw it.
Yeah, that has kind of been the case for him in the recent games, where Xiaotu will just go very, very over-aggressive, almost to the point where he's just limit testing and throw himself at the enemy. Sometimes it works, most times it actually looks pretty bad here. We see LYB do not fall for the tricks. Meanwhile, they are going to just go for this top side. This is exactly what's expected. Big minion wave coming in.
All about the patience. Dodoy, he knows it. So, doesn't go in a little early. We've seen some teams make that mistake. 3Z trying to walk away from this one. Gets the knockback and the combo. They make it look easy. Meanwhile, Aiden goes down, and Shun takes a lot of damage, forcing the heal out of On. As Dawn stands around, is going to actually try to get away. There is going to be the hook, forces the flash. Probably stuck around too long. Might go down on the tier 2. He does. Alpha actually trade better on the bot side.
Oh, just looking at this bot lane dive again, it's a very traditional 3-3 versus 2-2 setup. Actually, good play from Aiden on here, but, honestly, Don should have just turned tails and ran. He looked at Shun and thought he might be able to get a sneaky kill, but his support's ghost comes back to haunt him and takes him into the underworld.
Yeah, that feels bad. K-Babe really helping out to secure that kill. 2 now in the pocket of the veteran bot laner. Meanwhile, Kanji 3Z duking it out once again. To the skies he goes. Kanji not going to be in the lane. Oh, gets the outplay. The teleport comes through. This would be Xiaotu. And Kanji... Oh, wait a minute. It actually got canceled.
Yeah, Xyleath actually does not allow him to pick up the kill right there. So big wins for LYB across the board. Xyleath is in a bit of trouble, but K-Babe is probably in more trouble.
Well, you talked about chaos. This certainly is it early game right now. Flashes and dashes and everything burned. Oh my! Xiaotu's going down again. He went deep to try and kill Aiden. Didn't find it. And LYB right back in their favor as K-Babe throws down the mist to try and get away, or the Haro Path, I should say. Big scuttle fight.
This is definitely Xylia for president right here, getting so many plays on a part.
We're not done.
Look like he's on the same page. What?
Dawn has no mana. I don't know why he stayed around as long as he did.
That was really interesting because it was very half-hearted from both sides, and okay.
Yep.
That's the chaos factor I was talking about, and unfortunately, everything that we thought was going to happen in this game is already happening. The reset's coming in for Alpha Esports, and then Kanji just bullying on the other side. We're going to watch this one again. K-Baby just going a little bit too deep after Xylia had that sort of a scuffle with Xiaotu in the mid lane, gets out. K-Baby actually plays this quite nicely with the smite incoming, but Xiaotu, unfortunately, the Titan's Wrath comes up. There's an extra shield right there. Xylia is able to get down the kill. And okay, go back, guys. Get out! Liab, what are you... No, Liab, don't stay.
Dawn, you have no mana. What are you doing?
Oh, they just thought they were safe in the 3v2, but On was clearly rotating, so... Yeah, that was a bit troubling to see that assist going over.
On's fed, and it's 6 minutes into the game. Just gonna lay that one out there. This
I will say...
is gonna be a problem.
Do you remember last time Alpha Esports beat Liab?
I do, in fact. It was
On.
It was back in week 2.
Yeah.
And On did have a pretty respectable performance on that Aphelios.
Yeah, I think everyone remembers that turnaround triple kill by On to take the first win for Alpha Esports on the season, and this is looking pretty dire at this point. The CS score is down by a lot. It seems like Alpha Esports have, even though Xiaotu hasn't gotten that many assists, he is having that mobility to leave lane. And I just see that 4v2 as being very easy to execute for the side of Alpha Esports. Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if they just sent 3Z into the fray as well, since, you know, his lane's pretty much over. Like, there's nothing he can do right here. So he might as well go.
Xyliath is like, this is mine. You don't take this. I can't take it, but you won't either.
I wonder if he waits around for it. Oh, okay. He takes away the Crux.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Boy. Wow. Well, K-Babe's having a good time.
Yeah, and he's pretty fed at this point. You know, we have the early phage coming down. We have seen Viegos just do a lot of damage out the mythic item. It becomes very difficult to kill with the extra healing. And Alpha Esports, they have complete control of this bot lane. They don't even need the 4v2.
I mean, they're just dirty
is
farming.
Enough.
That's you never like to
really
see that. This is going to be a little bit tough for Dawn and Aiden to really become relevant. Meanwhile, though, on the top side, things are definitely a different story. Kanji with the 2 kills over 3Z, and 3Z's been set behind also in the farm game. It does mean he has enough freedom to really come down here and help out. Guys, you got to finish that Skull Crab. There you go. On this Rift Herald, it's really uncontestable. So at the very least, Liab can count on the fact that their top side of the map can start tilting in their favor. Now here's the rotation. Dawn and Aiden just come straight into mid lane.
That's just to feel bad for Xylia.
That's a sack the bot lane. Oh boy,
that's
all right.
a sack of Xylia. Like, what is Xylia gonna do? But 3Z.
Oh dear, 3Z.
Where are you going, man?
He's in trouble right now. Tries to get a little bit of an outplay here, but yeah, Dodoe's there for backup. Not even needed. Kanji getting another kill here. This is going to be the big push in. In fact, Xylia stays mid. It looks like Liab just want to accelerate the game.
And this is actually turning out to be the right move, because Xiaotu is nowhere near mid lane.
Yeah, what's going on? They kind of took this a little slow. Alpha got caught snoozing. It's actually going to be first brick picked up by Liab despite the bot deficit.
No way! Oh, I think On must be losing his mind this game. Like, he's won out on the bot lane so hard, but the top lane is just...
I love this. I love that Dawn and Aiden were just like, all right, we're not playing bot lane anymore. Move over, Xyliath. We're coming to mid. We're going to knock this one down. There was like no answer for the longest time on top side. 3Z finally comes back up, and he should be able to finish off Shelly. But Liab kind of turned that deficit right around.
Yeah, very interesting turn of events. Now, I will say Xylia has not been able to pick up farm for quite some time. Last we checked in onto him on a lane, he was at 60-60 as in come on, man. Like, no.
Yeah, just put Kanji on him. Well, that's bounty gold. Kanji could be in trouble, though. Flash actually is going to get followed here, and K-Babe will probably be able to get the execute. Oh. Yep. I think I saw that in one of the Ruination animations.
I guess that was just a bait from On. I'm not sure. Like, if it was a bait, I don't think he would have used his summoners.
That's a bad one.
So, yeah. This game's been really interesting. Look at that roller coaster of a gold graph. It's been trading back and forth 4 times already. I think that's the most I've seen out of any PCS game.
So it does seem like the answer LYB have found to dealing with some of the lane matchups that haven't been favoring them is just swap everybody around. So it doesn't really matter at all. Kanji does get shut down at the end of the day, but he does take on with him. So gold's kind of siphoned back and forth. At 11 minutes, very chaotic game, a 500 gold lead and a dragon advantage to Alpha Esports. But that is about it, as On and Shung look to push in this mid, and Xyliath and Aiden here to defend.
I definitely think the game now favors Alpha for sure. Xyliath just doesn't have a place to go right now. Every time he steps into lane, someone else is taking his farm. So his growth is extremely stunted, and LYB just have to all into team fights afterwards from this point onward, as we see them closing down onto the Drake.
Yeah. Oh, flash forward. They actually tried to bait this one, and it looks like they will be able to find it. And everybody's going into the backline. Dodoy starts out by helping open up a kill as Kanji will claim it. Here comes the chrono break, but Xiaotu doesn't have deletion. And Alpha just end up not getting anything out of that, but they turn back in for another. K-Babe falls. At the end of the day, it's only going to be Aiden on the LYB side that does.
Yeah, that was such a ill-coordinated team fight coming in from Alpha Esports. If you look at most of their ultimates, they almost miss everything and just end up getting one target at a time. Watch this again. We see the Death Charge and the Stormbringer straight onto the backline. Great synergy from LYB. And then watch out too. Parallel convergence on 2 frontline tanks, and then Solar Flare goes on, like, I think it was actually just completely dodged out right here. So they only get the support, and it was very unfortunate for Alpha. They had a lot more chances just fighting this, but weren't on the same page. What they need to look for in these team fights is they need to blow up one target right off the start. So they need to be much more coordinated and purposeful when they come in like that. Instead, they just kind of haphazardly stayed around and just got picked off one by one.
Yeah. Oh, man. And Kanji is getting real big. He's got 7 kills in this game already. He looked very far ahead just from the laning phase against 3Z, but he's going to start taking over here, and obviously in a side lane, he can still be taken out. A bit of a squishy target, but LYB, it seems like their execution just looks a lot better than what Alpha have been bringing, despite how it should be an Alpha edge. They will find Dodoy here, but Xyliath around the side, finding a lot of damage onto Shung, and he's going to go down despite the Solar Flare. That is going to be K-Babe picking up a kill answer and getting a reset. Will flash forward. Xyliath able to get under tower, and looks to try and go in. Scout of the week, stunned out. Does he have the damage? Oh, the arrow path.
Can they find him in the mist? Everyone is converging on this spot. Can they finally get spotted? Oh, no.
Oh, he tried to bait it. Just got to guess where he's going to be standing. Xyliath gets revenge.
Oh, Alpha Esports. I feel so bad for them. They definitely didn't expect Xyliath to be there. To be fair, I think Xyliath has been randomly roaming the rift for like 2 minutes right now because he actually has nowhere to go to. So
he's a man without a lane.
Kind of got lucky just getting there.
Yeah. I still just want to emphasize how far ahead Kanji is right now. He's got the Gale Force and the Essence Reaver. He is a full item ahead of 3Z.
And in Kanji, we trust. This is kind of the story of LYB. Yes,
well,
they are a
he's
Filipino
drawing pressure,
team, but right now Kanji is the president. So everyone should save him here. And on the flip side, everyone from Alpha is about to get him.
Yeah, they're gonna try to jump on him. Doesn't have an escort, unfortunately. Oh, Kanji trying to get the outplay. Look at the damage he dealt out of Xiaotu. Full culling channel. Shung eats most of it up. And there's not a whole lot of ways for him to go. He might run face first into K-Babe. Does dodge out a lot of damage, but he can't dodge the Solar Flare. And I think that is going to be the end. A big shutdown goes to 3Z. Meanwhile, though,
complete.
Yeah, LYB gonna use that as an opportunity to knock down mid turret.
I'm not even sure that was worth it for Alpha in the end, because if you look at the map, they actually rotated 4 people down to kill Kanji. That's how much they respect Kanji onto that one. And in the flip side, LYB actually do get away with a lot of extra resources on the map. They get the mid lane tower. They take away the blue buff. Again, the second consecutive blue buff that Xyliath has stolen now that he's more of a jungler than he is a laner. So at the end of the day, I think Kanji can rest easy. Like he's done his team proud.
Yeah, Kanji's looking pretty good right now. Obviously, you got to be a little careful when you're going to be on the side lanes alone like that, but it's opened up so many avenues for LYB to kind of start rolling forward. This will be a pretty free Rift Herald take, as there's no chance to contest. And LYB Esports, you know, making it into this 15-minute point of the game, looking pretty good. Alpha had the tools, had the opportunity, but they just can't blow anybody up. Look at this Xiaotu. He just can't find the execution target, but they are going to keep on trying. K-Babe and Shung are there. Get the jump down. Dodoy just tanking it up as Mega Inferno Bomb comes through. K-Babe looks for the execution. Is not going to be able to find it as he will burn away courtesy of Aiden. Chrono Break back and round the side goes Xyliath. You can never predict where he's going to be. Unfortunately, he gets shut down by On, and the fight just keeps on going. 3Z turns right around, goes to the skies, finds Dodoy, but he's going to trade his own life for it. Oh, 2 for 4, Liab.
I don't really understand the trades here coming out from Alpha Esports. It just seems like they're, you know, they're very happy to take a one-way ticket. Xiaotu's play here was fine, but he actually went in a little bit too early. He should have allowed Liab to walk further towards the parallel convergence, and then the full team just straight up engages. You see Shum burning his flash over the wall onto 2 ramps to try and get to the enemy team, and they focus Dodoy first, which is a really tanky champion at this point. I'm not really sure what Alpha is doing, and then after the fact where they've already lost out, they continue to just go in and in and in, and you know, 3Z, you know, it does get a trade back, but look at his HP bar. He's full HP, trading down 200 HP on Dodoy. But
yeah, I think the Alpha Esports vehicle has only one gear, and it's forward. Unfortunately, right now, they really should be backing off. Liab will pick up a Mountain Dragon off the back of that one. On is doing his damnedest to just keep this game from tilting out of control, as he will take a tower, but unfortunately, this is going to be easily matched down bottom side. Shelly's up. 3 members of Liab going to get the push on. And there's not an answer here to stop this. This could turn into 2 turrets.
Yeah, and you're trading against a Ziggs, so unless someone can actually just kill him underneath tower, it's not going to be worthwhile.
They're going for it. Go in. Solar Flare spent. He's got the stun. Teleport's going to come back up. But Dawn actually flashes. He will burn down, unfortunately. K-Babe now is going to be isolated from the rest of the team as the power is unleashed from Xyliath, and Kanji comes up for the finishing touch. And they will be able to knock down, I think they knocked down tower number 2 down there. It looked like it, or at least it was close.
Yeah, that was kind of an unfortunate flash coming in from K-Babe. I would have much preferred him to just go over the Raptor wall. Instead, he had like a very mini flash, and still paid the price for it. As we have Kanji now with the TP just to pick up the kills here. We talked about scrappiness, but it doesn't really work out when you're the only one losing members. Oop!
There! Oh, Xyliath's gonna walk away! Chrono Break, he couldn't quite finish the damage, and he's still going, and Xyliath hits him with the thumbs up. Oh, Dodoy on the taunt.
I've never seen a bear teabag people, but there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The Dodoy with the smackdown right there.
We're in FPS now, Clement. You know, I like this. This has got to be cathartic for Liab, because you know their big test up against Alpha last time, they lost it out. That was one of the more winnable games for him early on, but now it's got to be feeling good. They got to put this away. Xyliath, he nearly goes down. Xiaotu just does not have the damage. The flash and the bear interrupt.
Oh, and then the Ursine teabag. That's what I'm really here for. Okay, let's see.
We're not going to...
Oh, no, they cut it out too soon.
It's unfortunately, we're not allowed to show that on TV anymore. Xyliath will fall.
Okay, so finally, Alpha Esports. This is the trades that they should be going for, as long as they can keep on funneling kills into Echo. Actually, Echo hasn't gotten a single kill. So as long as they can keep on doing it on K-Babe, I think they should be fine. Oh!
Okay, that's a pretty big shutdown. Kanji's been stacking the kills up, so his bounty's good. I mean, this is the silver lining here, is that on the side lanes, K-Babe is going to be pretty terrifying.
That's the scary thing about this composition, is that they can trade so poorly, but because their champions just naturally scale better with kills, they can still come out ahead. Like, there is some rhyme behind the madness. I'm not going to say all that much. They could have played a lot better. But the general idea is correct, is just to make things as chaotic as possible and pick up kills all across the board, and Alpha actually will outscale. So they finally taken back the gold lead. This gold graph is kind of interesting, because I guess they skipped over most of the early game. Like, it was a lot more back and forth in the early game. But finally, Alpha Esports, even after all those weird kills, because they're able to pick up Xyliath, because Xyliath doesn't have anywhere to farm, you see Xiaotu now with a 50+ CS lead.
Yeah, the problem with facing off against a Viego in the side lane is if you're a squishy, it doesn't matter if you're fed because you can still get taken down, and we've seen that a couple of times from Kanji. However, Xiaotu, let's see if he's going to be able to survive this one, trying to tank his way up, but he's going to be running into three members.
Okay.
Looks like Aiden was just kind of playing defense, but Alpha are going to take advantage of it by knocking down bot turret. Or mid turret, rather.
Yeah, really good find coming in from them. And they do have to be pretty cautious of the potential for this Mountain Soul to come out through. Mountain Soul is probably the best soul that you could ask for against a double assassin combination.
Oh, they're going to go for K-Babe. Just try to take the assassin out, and they do. Don getting the shutdown. It's going to be a turn. This could be a 21-minute Baron attempt without a smite on the Alpha side.
Oh, you could see how discombobulated Alpha Esports were. Like, K-Babe was the only one pushing out the wave. No one was even near him, and I'm actually pretty surprised he didn't try to use the Heartbreaker out.
Okay, so Aiden is going to be body blocking here, but there's not going to be a smite fight. I wonder if Liab full commit to this or if they're going to go for the fight instead themselves. Xiaotu already back in the mix. That's a lot of poke chunked out. Parallel Convergence going to land. Into the back goes Shung. They take him out, peel off the Baron, trying to keep this one aggro. They're going to try to have their cake and eat it too, but looking for more. That's going to be the Chrono Break as Xiaotu can't quite find the finisher. They stop the Baron, but they do lose one, and they might lose more. The culling and the bear drop comes in. That's going to be 2 so far. Oh, and they're going to catch on
and
as
even
well.
more.
Nowhere for him to go, but backwards tries to get those Ren stacks. Look at those low health bars.
To keep him
Parallel
here for
Convergence
K-Babe.
again. What a dangerous game they play.
Can K-Babe come in? He could wipe the entire team if he actually gets access here. The first Heartbreaker, if it lands, that could be it.
Gonna get knocked back, trying for it. Unleash the power as he goes in, trying to pick one up. Finds one, but not enough to clean up. That was closer than it should have been.
Yeah, I like On's attempts to just keep the team there. On the flip side, they will be able to pick away this objective. I think it's actually pretty funny that On just moved his way all the way to bot side. He's like, yeah, you guys have fun here. I'm just going to go somewhere else.
On is keeping his eyes on the objective game. Absolutely trying to hold this one. Let's see this fight again.
It started out really good, but I think Alpha actually went in way too deep after Sheng here. Like, after Sheng died, and the damage would stealth by Xiaotu, there's no way Liab is going to continue on this run. There's actually zero chance for them to continue. So I think they should have been satisfied with just that play, but then you see 3Z just face-tanking Xyliab scatter the weak, and he dies instantly. So
right back at it.
well, you know, it worked out for Liab the other time. Why not do it again?
Yeah, this time it's a straight up 5v5, but they do have the better positioning on it right now. Xiaotu, he's going to spot this one, and they realize that they've got to go, but the Baron already dropping very low. And if they can secure this up and get out, they got the Baron turning in the fight. Solar Flare, Parallel Convergence coming down. They're going to try to get Xiaotu on the outside. He actually forced a Chrono Break back, but K-Babe starts by opening up onto Aiden. The rest of Liab look to scatter. Big Shock Blast coming in from 3Z, and it's Shen trying to lock them up. TP coming through. Liab are desperately trying to get away from this one, but Alpha go for the big shutdown, and they find everybody but Dodoy and Kanji. Dodoy body blocking for his carry.
Oh, get him to the bunker, Dodoy on the Secret Service duty.
Protect the president, indeed.
Shakedown.
Oh my goodness. Well, they're going to get a tower out of this.
From Liab. They get the Baron, the most important thing. Even though they lose 3 for 1, they get the Baron, and they keep Kanji with his bounty intact. 3Z teleports in, he drops the hammer, and Kanji stays alive because of the lifesteal. That was absolutely insane to watch. And Liab, now with this Baron, I feel like they finally don't have to deal with side waves anymore. Let's watch that again. Absolutely crazy start. I think Liab got the right idea that, like, Alpha just did not respond to coordinated play that well, so they just group up. They should have just gotten out here. There's, you know, full-on retreat. It was a great move coming in from 3Z. I actually really like the ideas here. Get the poke down, and then watch him go onto Kanji, but Kanji somehow survives. Dawn with the satchel charge actually stops the last auto attack from going through, and the president survives.
Dodoy full-on body blocking, even hits him with the BM at the end. He's like, that's right, you're not touching my top laner.
That looked like a bow, you know. I actually think Dodoy has different animations for taunts here. Like, he's making the full use of all of the Volibear animations.
Next level.
Salutes that.
Gotta love it.
Really good mechanics. High APM play.
Mm-hmm. You got APM to spare in League of Legends sometimes. Xiao Tu going to be able to get some damage on this bot inhibitor turret. But looks like there's maybe another skirmish brewing here in the mid lane. Liab don't seem to want that one. Ooh, Kanji. Yeah, Xiao Tu, parallel convergence, excuse me, Chrono Break goes in, but he is not very tanky. And unfortunately, Xiao Tu cannot survive. This is going to open up the floodgates to try and force a fight here. Aiden, this time the one engaging the fight rather than trying to disengage it. K-Babe is going to get the reset. No, he's not, because that is going to be enough for Aiden to stay alive by the skin of his teeth, and that turns the fight around. K-Babe going to be sniffing for a reset here. He looks to find one, but he gets stopped up, rooted. Liab, clean up, and don't lose a member.
Kanji with 16 kills grabs the ace for Alpha Esports. The death timers are long, and Liab are going to keep their dreams at playoffs most likely alive here. They could just straight push for this. Now, we have seen disaster strike. Liab was once very close to winning a game, and then the entire enemy team rezzed. So I want to see how fast they can take this one, and if they can't, they should be happy to just back out and give themselves another shot.
I think that's what they're going to do,
the smart
just the
play.
hip.
Oh,
All
okay.
Nice, good disengage. They're going to actually send Dawn back to clean the wave bottom side, making good use of that Baron buff in the aftermath of the fight, pushing it in. And Liab, they are knocking on the doors. The playoff dream still alive. Oh boy. This one is tense though. Alpha really giving them hell. They're making them earn it.
Oh, yeah. I think Xiao Tu in the previous play, he just did not realize that Kanji was so fed to the point that he actually had Sorelvia's grudge this early on. You know, usually that is like a third item purchase, and he's like, well,
I mean, it is a third item purchase. It's just, he has the third item.
Yeah, that was exactly the problem right there. So, they just fall to it so quickly, and you remember the time where K-Babe was able to one-shot Kanji? I don't think that's happening anymore. He has the GA. The president is going to be a lot harder to hunt down here for the side of Liab, and this is where you see the team that even with the squishy targets starts to take the lead because they have those stopwatches, and right now only Dawn is the one that can be one shot.
They're just running straight into the base right now. It is actually Xiao Tu on the side, has teleport if need be, but Liab realized that nobody was at home, and they actually start to push in here, just kind of calling the bluff, and look at how fast they shred down the Nexus turrets. Teleport coming in. They are going to try to push them back, re-engage. K-Babe taken down by the unlocked power, and that is going to be enough to clean house. Liab, pull the trigger to finish this one off. The playoff dream is alive as the Nexus is laid bare, and at 28 minutes, Liab will find their 4th win to tie up the record with impunity. They just need them to lose, and they force that tiebreak.
Oh, Liab fans rejoice. Now, of course, we have to bring down the hype a little bit. Impunity still have a shot to close this one out without a tiebreaker. They could upset J-Team later in the day and take away all this momentum. But for now, Liab hang in, and boy, I love the way that they did it. I feel like they were leveraging the team's advantages so much more better than the side of Alpha Esports, and that really was their teamwork. When they're grouped together 5v5, they have better coordination, they can pick targets out better, they can parse crowd control and disengage a lot better than the enemy team coming in from Alpha Esports, which honestly, they don't look like they have any coordination at all. And it's great to see Liab actually being able to recognize their own strengths and take that to bludgeon their opponents.
They just look better and better each time, and it was a hard-fought game because of the powerful tools that were on the side of Alpha. But you're right, better coordination wins the game out for Liab at the end, and just recognizing when they can make a map movement. They like, normally running it down mid is a bad thing. Not this time. Yeah. It worked out.
Yeah, I think they recognized that there was actually no wave clear on the side of Alpha Esports. You know, their mid laner is an assassin pushing in a side lane, and their AD carry is on Callista with no Renan's Hurricane. So there's not really a lot of stuff they can do against a big minion wave, and they just ran it down home. So great game plan coming out for them. I didn't think that they would be able to pull it out. I honestly thought that Alpha Esports, with their draft and watching K-Babe being able to one-shot Kanji, I thought that was it. Like, that was, how do you win from that point onwards? Like, you have no map control. But it was a Baron buff.
Serious protection from the Volibear certainly helped out. I think there were some fights where it was so close to just becoming a Viego Slaughterfest. K-Babe certainly was the big threat. I mean, this Echo, yes, it neutralized a bit of the lane, but it never really proved to be a big threat. Like, I felt like Xyliath was never under huge pressure, and by the time we came out of the laning phase, like, Xiao Tu just never really got rolling on enough damage, and a lot of it came down to he let himself get solo killed way too many times, and unfortunately, that is the Xiao Tu special.
Yeah, it kind of is. Xiao Tu just runs in there and tries to get as much as possible with zero regard for his own life, and that really did end up costing him. I felt like he could have gotten actually a lot more pressure in this game. Like, you have to remember, this guy started the game 0-4, and he was still able to command a side lane, which is it was kind of crazy how like lopsided that matchup is. Xyliath was 50 CS behind. But unfortunately, Alpha Esports, I felt like in the teamfight phase around the Baron pit, like their dance was not very coordinated. You could see that they actually forced out LYB the first time, but then they went in for more and just got wiped. Try to keep all the members around for K-Babe. K-Babe goes in, only gets 1 kill, and then gets traded off, and crucially, Kanji stays alive. So Kanji for president, this is probably the highest, this is the highest kill count this season. And it goes to Kanji from LYB. 19 kills on that Lucian. What did I tell you about this game at the start? This is going to be Kanji carry or bust.
I mean, and that was the game plan. They pulled it off. It was incredibly impressive, and Kanji did exactly what it needed to. It all started by setting 3Z really on the back foot. They got a little bit of help in the form of Dodoy, and speaking of Dodoy, I think he's the unsung hero of this one, above and beyond, preventing Kanji from dying, of course, in that very flashy play up top side, but also just like making sure that he was going to be able to set up these fights and these picks that got Kanji off to that rolling start. And yeah, that was pretty much the story of the game.
Yeah, it feels bad to me. Like, I honestly feel like Alpha Esports should have won this game. Like, you look at their bottom lane, they didn't have a bottom lane to play starting since level 4. That's how far LYB was actually in the game. And then Xiao Tu was up 50 CS. And I was like, okay, this game's probably over. But then Alpha Esports pull out their special, which is the suicide brush, and it didn't really work out.
I mean, it comes down to just having that situational awareness. LYB certainly did, and they stay alive for the playoffs. We'll have to see if they are going to be able to force that tiebreaker, because right after this, J-Team faces off against Impunity, and that'll decide the fate of LYB for this split. So you won't want to miss that. We'll be right back with that game.